Hello, my soulful bays. Today, I wanted to share the many lessons that I learned with the Pets Vivans incident. And if you don't know about the incident, I made an Instagram post about it. So I'll leave the link below in the description so you can learn more about all the juicy details there. In short, the pets got into my Vivans, my ADHD medications. Stimulants are very bad for pets, dogs and birds alike.
It's bad. It's bad.
And so we had a visit to the vet. Luckily, all the pets are fine, they're alive, they're well. But of course, I had to tell the owners. And there was a big fear in me as I was telling the owners because when I was younger, mistakes meant that I would get yelled at, I would get the silent treatment. Basically, it would not be a good situation. I think this is a very common thing amongst children of migrant parents or ethnic parents where they didn't learn how to regulate their emotions, and if they got mad, they'd just basically take it out on you. I remember this was even in my adulthood, but I was driving with my mum, and on the roads there were these shards of ceramic, and I didn't see it until last minute, and then I didn't want to swerve or brake really hard because there were cars behind me. And so I drove over it and it slashed and flattened the tires. And when I got home and told my dad was like, "Why did you drive over it?" And was just basically blaming me for this whole situation. And I was like, no one is hurt. We got the tires replaced. It's fine. Like, I was just telling you to tell you a story. But my dad is a bit like that with things, and my mum. I don't blame them. They have had a very challenging life. Any mistake for them was life or death at one point, and they've kept that in their nervous system and they haven't been able to regulate that. So that's just the pattern that they're stuck with, but then they pass it on to me, and then I have to be the cycle breaker, which is so much fun. This is why I developed perfectionism. Perfectionism is a protective mechanism. It serves to protect me from feeling like I'm not good enough, the fear of getting in trouble if I make mistakes, from feeling unworthy or unlovable if I make mistakes. So perfectionism actually served a purpose in my life. But it also held me back a lot because I would be so anxious. I remember in my year 12 final exams for English, I was writing my essay and I was like, oh, it looks so messy. I'll just cross the whole thing out and rewrite the whole paragraph. And I ended up not having enough time to finish the whole essay. Perfectionism can also show up as procrastination. If I don't start my business, then I can't make mistakes and I can't be anxious about being perfect. So I'll just procrastinate as long as I can so I don't have to sit with those uncomfortable feelings. I say I'm a recovering perfectionist because I've worked on letting go of my perfectionism and my fear of making mistakes and my shame around making mistakes. But when I was telling the owners about this incident, I noticed it coming up again. But it was different this time because the owners actually gentle parented me. They were very kind and very compassionate, while they also held me accountable for my responsibility in this situation, leaving my meds out. I noticed a shift in me, a healing, the reminder to my nervous system that said it's safe to make mistakes. It's okay if you make mistakes. And the lessons that have unfolded from that since then have been just so abundant. And that's why I wanted to share it with you, because I'm so sure there are so many of you that also have this fear of making mistakes, this shame around making mistakes. And I see this in my clients as well. They have fear around trying intuitive eating, trying to listen to their bodies, trying new exercises. This is where the restrict and binge cycle comes in. If you're trying to eat well and then you make a mistake and then you end up binging because you're like, well, if I've already made this mistake of eating one chocolate, I might as well eat all the chocolate and then start the diet again next Monday. This is perfectionism, all or nothing mindset, the good versus bad food mindset. It's rampant throughout diet culture because it's linked with colonialism and capitalism. It's this idea of an imperial right and wrong, good and bad, dichotomy, black and whiteness. It often comes with self-criticism and berating yourself, being very unkind to yourself, which is exhausting and it weighs on your self-esteem and self-worth. So that's why I am trying to heal my perfectionism, move away from it, because shame has never, never made anyone healthier or happier or a better person. Once I allowed my nervous system to feel that it was safe to make mistakes, so much opened up for me. I remembered that mistakes are a sign of growth, especially when we sit with it and we learn from it. Rather than judging it, we come from a place of curiosity, because the reality is anytime we do something new, we're going to make a mistake. And especially if you want to do really cool, fun, big things in your life, you're going to make mistakes. If I'm trying to create this business that defies the status quo, that helps to shift the collective understanding of what health means, then I'm going to make lots of mistakes. I realized that I have been playing really small in my business because I had this fear of making mistakes. If you know my story, you know that I restarted my business. So this is the second iteration of my business. I've been feeling really frustrated with the lack of growth on my social media accounts and in my business, or the slow growth, I should say, because my first business grew so quickly, whereas this one is a little bit more slower paced. I realized that I was just trying to replicate my first business. I was just creating posts that back then got a lot of engagement and views, but it no longer worked because social media, the landscape has changed. And even though it didn't work, that is my comfort zone. Going outside of that comfort zone felt very uncomfortable for me because it meant that I might make mistakes and I might fail. So remembering that it's safe to make mistakes actually helped me step into my edge where I have the capacity to try something new, because I'm being honest with myself and saying I probably will make mistakes, and that's okay. And having that self-trust that even if I do make mistakes, that I can own up to it, I can be honest with it, I can reflect on it, and that will actually help me grow and do better next time. So feeling safe to make mistakes means feeling safe to try something different, to try something new, to make bigger moves. And so I'm so excited in my business. I have really shaken things up and I'm really stretching outside of my comfort zone. Trying to copy my old business felt so stale and so boring, and I wasn't even having fun. So how could you enjoy it? But this new iteration of my business, this new era, this new campaign that I've been working on has been so much fun. I'm doing a photo shoot. I'm having some friends join me in this photo shoot. I'm making a playlist. I'm making many, many things that I won't spoil right now because I haven't released it yet. It will come out at the start of next month. So it's the start of November. So watch this space for it. This feels so much more fun for me, getting creative, and I feel very hopeful to be moving in this direction with my business. So that is what I wanted to share with you, the lessons from the Pets Vivan situation that has opened up so much for my business. It seems so unrelated, but the lessons there, the core is the same. And so I wonder if this has helped you think about an area in your life, a task, a project that you're noticing your perfectionism come up in, that fear of making mistakes. And if you can just let that go, remember that it's safe to make mistakes. Maybe you want to repeat that to yourself a few times. Maybe you can just exhale and just remember that you can do this thing, experience this thing, whether it's starting a new business, starting a new book, starting a new exercise routine, and allow yourself to do it imperfectly, to make mistakes along the way, to learn and reflect and improve along the way without judging yourself and without criticizing yourself. So that is my invitation to you. Let me know if this video has been insightful for you. It has been very insightful for me, all of these lessons, and I hope that helps you on your health journey or wherever you are going. So much love.